tryptamine astrology readings here. Hey, there's a grain of euphoria in every hard aspect in astrology. There's a grain of euphoria. There's a grain, an inner core of energy, high functionality, and benefit from a hard aspect like a square and 90-degree angle between two planets in opposition, 180-degree angle between two planets opposite each other with Earth in the middle. You know, there's these hard aspects, square and opposition, cause such things as conflict, eruptions, depression, all kinds of crazy, terrible things. The aspects of intensity, danger, chaos, the hard aspects, Okay, so if you don't know what aspects are, I'm going to summarize them with these 5 primary aspects. The conjunction is when two planets are aligned in the sky. They're aligned in the sky. That's a conjunction, an alignment. Then you have a sextile, that's a 60-degree angle between two planets. That's it's when planets are 2 signs away from each other exactly 60 degrees. Every sign is 30 degrees. Then you got a square, a 90-degree angle between two planets. Then you got a trine, 120-degree angle between two planets. Then you have an opposition, 180 degrees. Then it cycles back. So the 2 main positive aspects in astrology are the sextile and the trine. They're almost identical in feeling. And the 2 hard aspects, the 2 not flowing in positive aspects, the hard, rough, brutal aspects, are the square and opposition. The square and opposition are much more intense than the sextile and the trine. Although the sextile and the trine are the aspects of positivity and flowing functionality. They're found in the charts of geniuses. They will cause inspiration and positivity. The sextile and trine, they're not nearly as strong as the square and opposition. The square and opposition usually cause dysfunction and problems and nothing functional. But in the grain of the square and the opposition, there is a grain. If you can make it work, if you can push through it, if you can be strong as a human being and be, strong, you can turn the intensity, the intense dysfunctionality of the square or the opposition into power, into as if it was like a sextile or a trine. You feel me? So, right now we have nothing but hard aspects in the sky. Nothing but hard aspects this whole week. The first week of 2016, we've got Mercury square Mars, Mercury at a 90-degree angle to Mars, stuck before Mercury goes retrograde. We have Venus moving to square Neptune, touching a very sensitive place of depression and delusion and dissolving identities and confusion that's going to majorly ruffle some feathers that have been hit in the last month with the Saturn square Neptune, Venus square Neptune this week. We're going to have no choice right now but to do this thing. It's the only thing you can do when life is beating you down and you only have shitty cards in your deck. What you have to do is you have to take that hard energy, convert it into something positive. That's the human power. The human power is the ability to do anything we put our mind to. That is really the human power, That's what the human can do. We can take a shitty hand that life deals us and make it something great, We can, with our ability to succeed, take this... Okay, so Mercury square Mars. It's a terribly frustrating aspect going on in the sky right now. It's been stuck for almost an entire week, and it's going to be stuck for the next whole week. It's going to be frustration this next week, as a feeling of depression builds with Venus approaching its square to Neptune, with a feeling of self-doubt building, Venus square Neptune, with a feeling of strange seriousness in the air, Sun and Mercury in Capricorn building, and with a feeling of intensity just building throughout the whole next week of January 2nd to January 8th. You know, it's going to be a weird week, and we're going to have no choice but to turn all this intensity and hard aspect into the air to something positive. So I'm turning the frustration of Mercury square Mars into not frustrating Martian energy flowing through the air, but I'm going to take that power, and what I'm doing right now is using it as motivation. I'm not going to let myself be frustrated, because I have the power to say, no, I'm not going to be frustrated. Yeah, it's like that. As long as you recognize reality for what it is, you don't shut out reality. You recognize everything you need to recognize, and don't be ignorant. Don't be blindly optimistic. You can take that human strength and convert the square or the opposition, the hard aspects, into power, into as if they were a sextile or a triangle. So I'm gonna take this and use it as energy. And also, get this is crazy. Say Mercury is conjunct your Uranus, and it squares Mars in the sky. That's how it is for me right now. Mercury is conjunct my Uranus at 1 degrees Aquarius, and Mars is square my Uranus at near 1 degree Scorpio. Mercury and Mars are squaring each other on top of one of my planets. Mercury is aligned with my Uranus. If I focus and I don't let this mess me up, and I get over those bumps of frustration, then I can convert this hard aspect into this place of Uranus inside me. The place of Uranus inside me, excuse the puns and all that shit. Mercury conjunct Uranus causes one to think a lot more. When Mercury conjoins your Uranus, your thinking is majorly stimulated. Mercury is a planet of mechanical thinking, of Virgo thinking, and Uranus is the planet of idea flow, like the electricity going through the machine of Mercury, like the ideas going through the mechanical mind of Mercury. So with Mercury conjunct my Uranus at like 1 degrees Aquarius, Mars squaring my Uranus, yeah, it's rough. But as you can see, I'm converting that not erratic necessarily, kind of erratic, but I'm converting that Martian energy, even though it's rough, into inspiration and motivation. And where is that inspiration of Mars and Mercury going? It's going into my Uranus, because that's where it's hitting me in my chart. Where an aspect happens in the sky, where it hits you in your chart, is where that aspect in the sky will affect you. And that's really how it is. So I'm sitting here 5:16 in the morning, more motivated to work than I have been in a long time. And yeah, I've actually gotten frustrated a few times in the last few days, and I've seen a lot of other people get frustrated too. It's alright, I'm going to convert this into motivation, be a little bit nocturnal if I have to, and much love, peace.